Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show. Don't touch that remote, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show today, and it's all about helping people. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay. Now, my guest today is someone who is helping people. You know, there's a lot to do. Who, what, where, when, and why. Why, how. And when we're in Northtown High School right now. All the students are getting an education to go someplace. Where are they going to go? How are they going to go? What do you do? Okay. My guest today is going to be someone that's going to help you. Parents, you listen and you can help your children move. You know, now we don't make house calls. We go here, we come in your TV. So I want you to meet Lynn. Tell your last name.
Carroll.
Okay.
Lynn
now,
Carroll.
Tell me what you're going to do. What are you going to do? What do you do?
I help people find a job they love.
Are this just adults and juveniles or who?
Any age.
Oh, any age. Oh, okay.
I'll help you find your next job.
Oh, okay. In other words, get your first job and your next job.
That's right.
And be ready to move. Right.
That's right.
When to move to get out of there.
That's right.
You know, sometimes a job can drive you goofy.
That's right.
Come home and you come home with a lot of troubles from the job, and then you start fighting with your wife and everything, and it causes problems.
So stressful.
So stress. So actually, you're helping everybody. Now,
yeah.
The first thing, when a student, well, let's work with the students.
Okay.
Okay? They graduate, they got a diploma in their hand, and they're ready to move. And that's the most important thing. Get that education.
Right.
Okay. And then another thing is don't get in trouble because you get a juvenile record. You got a record and you got a diploma. Who's going to hire you? Okay? They're going to hire the person without this. Okay? So, tell me just some techniques that somebody will have to use to approach to get a job.
You got it.
Go ahead.
First thing, you want to focus on what you're good at.
Okay.
So I talk to clients about what they like to do and what they're good at.
Right.
I'm not talking about watching YouTube. I'm talking about what you can do to help other people out in the world, what you're good at. Some people are good at selling things.
Right. Talk. Right.
Some people can charm a snake out of a tree. They can.
Yeah.
Other people not so much. They're more quiet and they're more reserved. They're better at figuring out problems, solving problems, maybe on a computer or maybe in a physical way, whatever it is. Whatever you're good at, that's what you want to try to find what a job using that talent or using that skill. Yeah. So if you're good at talking, you look for jobs that you need to talk.
Salesman.
TV producer, TV interviewer. That's right.
But you know what? I went to Catholic schools.
Yeah.
Public schools.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous, I never liked to get up and talk.
Were you?
The nuns would say, get up and recite the prayer or something. I was afraid. And here I am now.
Look at you.
I talk before thousands of people.
Not an ounce of stage fright.
Oh, my God. So, but you hit on a point that start with what you're comfortable with and what you can do. And I have to equate that with I'm a professional boxer.
Yes.
So if I'm going to teach you how to box, and I say, all right, I want you to move around, hit the punch. Now, I don't want you, because I box like this, say jab, jab. Now, maybe this guy gets his power from here.
Right.
Well, I don't want to change it. I'm not going to tell him I'm going to tell him, you got your power here, use that.
Use what you got.
It's a good thought.
That's exactly right. Use what you got.
And you can't change something, but God give you a talent, and you have to grab it and run with it.
That's right.
So go ahead. Now, what else?
The second thing is to tap into your network. And your network is all the people around you.
Network.
Yes.
Means what?
All the people around you. It could be people you went to school with.
Yeah.
It could be people you go to church with.
Right.
It could be people that you know from your athletic sports, your
Right.
teammates.
Yep.
It could be anybody. And when you want to use your network,
Yeah.
you got to present yourself professionally.
Well, number one, if you want to swim, you got to get in the water.
That's right. You got to get out there.
Right.
So what do you do if you're going to present yourself as a professional?
Right.
You got to
Not a
have
class.
two things. Ready? Firm handshake.
A good handshake.
Yep. And eye contact. I'll demonstrate. Can I
All right,
demonstrate?
take it easy now. Go ahead, stand up.
Hi.
All right, wait a minute. Now, now the students.
Yes.
Now, you're going to teach her how to make a good an impression.
That's right. A good impression.
All right.
Hi, I'm Lynn. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Kiana.
Hi, Kiana. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Now, Kiana met my eye. Wasn't that good?
Yeah.
Wasn't that great? Kiana met my eye, and now I trust her. And I think she's a good professional, and I would want to get to know her. What if she did this? Hi.
Yeah. That's what you call. You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
Moosh. You don't moosh. No.
Instead, you want firm handshake, eye contact.
Right.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Kiana. Thank you so much.
All right, wait a minute.
Oh.
Now, as a policeman,
Yes.
and as someone that I around talk in nursing homes, when I shake hands with an elderly person, I shake hands like this, and then I come up the second hand like this. This is a hand of security. As a policeman in uniform, when I shake hands with somebody, they feel comfort, they feel
Yes.
safe.
That's a
So
good
whenever
idea.
you do that, you talk to your aunt, your grandmom, that second hand means a lot. It touches the heartstrings of the heart.
It does. It
Okay?
does.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Kiana.
we pay you weekly, very weekly. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And, all right, so I have some experiences to help you blend in there.
Yeah.
When I was a police officer, I was a motorcycle. You can see me in a motorcycle. And I used to wear the heavy gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the teachers that used to hire the teachers,
Mm-hmm.
she told me my fingernails were dirty, because it was the leather.
From the gloves.
So I used to talk to her, So she, in a nice way, she says, you know what? When I interview a person for a job as a teacher, I look at their fingernails. And if they are dirty, I figure if you don't take the time to clean your own fingernails, you got a problem.
Yeah.
And she said that would be one of the things that would be that I would not hire them.
Yeah.
So when you go for an interview, make sure your fingernails are clean.
Yep.
Okay. So another thing is when I moved on Powell Street,
Yeah.
I had an Irish grave digger from St. Patrick's Church, and I had a big hole in the back of my yard, and I said, Fran, can you give me a bushel of dirt from St. Patrick's? He's a grave digger. He says, we don't have dirt at St. Patrick's Church. We have soil. He says,
Soil.
dirt you find under your fingernails. So, fingernails mean a lot, okay? So go ahead now, tell me what else.
So I'd say the next thing I would say is once you've tapped into your network, then you need to find ways to get yourself out there.
Okay.
And one of the ways is to ask your network, ask your friends and your coworkers and your former coworkers where you should go to meet new people.
Okay.
So you got your network of the people you already know, right? But you want to meet new people outside
right.
of that. But how do you find them? You ask your network. So I'll give you an example.
It's the people you know, yeah.
That's right. Last night,
People that are active too.
that's
Yeah.
right, who are active and involved.
Don't be hanging around with dead wood.
Last night, I had a chance, a friend of mine told me about this group called the Norristown Chamber of Commerce.
Oh yeah, I had her on my show yesterday.
Kim, yes, she's the one, Kim Ramsey.
Yeah.
And she said,
She was a captain in the Army.
she was, and she said, we're having a networking meeting in Norristown, and she told me where and she told me when, and I went, and it was great. Last night, I met 10 new people.
Yeah.
10 new people that I had never met before.
Yeah.
And they have another one coming up December 5th at the Elmwood Park Zoo.
Now, all right, out of 10 people,
Yeah.
what kind of network did you get from that? Like what?
1 or 2 people are going to help me by spreading the word about my workshops.
Okay.
I have workshops coming up Tuesday nights in November.
Yeah, November the 7th.
Yes, at the library.
And 2 days later, November the 9th, is my birthday, and I'll be 94.
94.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm turning to dirt,
Tuesday nights.
stone.
Tuesday nights in November at the Norristown Library.
Right.
And we're going to have workshops once a week, every Tuesday. So November
All right, so you got
7th.
Tuesday the 14th. Get your pencil, mark
Yeah,
it down.
yeah.
Tuesday the 14th,
Yep.
6 o'clock at the library.
Yes.
Tuesday, November 21st.
Yes.
All right, I'm right. Well, the
Also
one
at
on
the
the
library.
14th is going to tell how to tell your story.
Yep.
And then November the 21st, build your network, not neck, network. Tuesday, November the 28th, nail the interview.
Yep.
So that's your interview. Mark them dates down. November the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, the 28th.
You got it.
At the public library.
6
Really.
p.m.
And it's all about your career. You know, you need help. You just can't go you're in the ocean without a rudder or without a sail. You're just floating around.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. So once you've plugged into the networking that you're going to be doing, you're going to use your network to get your name out there.
Right.
Then you're going to start asking people what their career path looked like.
Yeah.
What did you start? What was your first job? Like your first real job? Was it in boxing? You talked about boxing?
No, my first job was with my father at a shoemaker shop. I shined shoes.
You shined shoes.
Right.
Excellent. Good customer service
And I
skills.
met a lot of people shining shoes because
Yeah.
I was on the stand. You
Yeah.
know, they were sitting on the stand, and I'm looking up and
Looking
shining.
up at them.
And they used to tell stories, and it was just wonderful,
Oh, that's great.
And I learned a lot about people.
Yes.
I learned about some guy that maybe he's not even dressed good. He used to give me an extra tip. It used to be 10 cents for a shine, and he'd give me a quarter and say, keep the change. And then I had the guy who was all dressed up and everything. He'd give me 10 cents.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
You learn a lot about people. And then
right.
another experience is I was a bartender in my brother's tap room and restaurant over in Flowertown.
Yeah.
And I would see when the people come up to the bar and just the way they would ask for a drink or something, and then they would say treat so-and-so for something, and they had fish hooks in their pocket, and they wouldn't take no money out, They would order, but they have their friends would pay,
Yeah.
So you learn something about people. The more you talk to people, that's why when I was a policeman, walking the beat in Norristown, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, nobody to talk to, just walking around,
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd find some drunk guy, and I would stand and start talking to him.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised what I used to learn. This guy was always drunk. And he said, my son is a lieutenant colonel. He showed me a picture of that. So you learn a lot talking to people,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that networking?
That's
From there.
networking.
Right.
That is networking. It is.
Right.
It really is.
Right.
And some people say, I
Right.
hate
So now what else
networking."
we got?
What else we got? We got finding places in Norristown where you can get plugged in.
Let's talk about Norristown.
And you can help the town.
Right.
And by helping the town, you help your career.
Right.
Right? And I'll give you an example. I got a chance to be on a thing called the Citizens Leadership Academy through the borough, through the municipality.
Oh.
And they taught me all about what running Norristown is about. And I met all kinds of people from Norristown or
You never
with
met me?
business. I know. But I met a lot of good people. And now I've met you. So now you're in my network, which is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
And if you get any parking tickets in Norristown, mention my name, pay the fine.
I will.
All right.
And you can volunteer in Norristown. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
nonprofits you can volunteer for in Norristown. And if you volunteer at a nonprofit, it helps you find out
Right.
what kind of jobs they have.
Yeah.
And if you decide you want to work there, volunteering there first is the best way to get your foot in the door.
Yeah. There's always a hidden little secret that people use. I was pretty friendly and known a guy that was worth a lot of money,
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so one day he asked me to go with him. He was going to go to a big, I don't want to mention the organization, but it's a big nonprofit that people donate money to. So I says, you're busy. How are you going to? Hank, he says, I get on the committee so I can find out who all the big donors are.
Yeah.
Then I go after them.
Yeah,
So there's different techniques that may, you know.
yeah.
And I thought to myself, I said, oh my God, maybe you have to do it the right way, but he's doing it only that, you know, but there's other ways of going in there
Right.
to help the fundraising.
Right. You should go
But-
in with your first goal to help.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
first goal should be to help. But after you've helped the nonprofit, it can help your career. It
Right.
can really help you.
That's right, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And, but the most important thing is they have to like what they're doing.
Yeah.
They have to want to participate in doing it, doing the right way. That,
Yeah.
And really, I don't know how to, what word you used. The love of the job,
Passion.
the passion, right.
Passion for what you're doing.
Newt Rockney was the football coach of Notre Dame, famous, right?
Yeah, yeah.
One day they asked him, Newt, what do you look for in a football player as a coach? Do you look for a good passer? You look for a quarterback that has brains? Do you have a guy who can block? He says, I look for the player that has the desire to play. If
Right.
he don't have the desire to play, he's not going to be a good player.
When I talk to people about interviewing, I say the one question that is most important that you can answer in a job interview is, why do you want to work here?
Yeah.
You
okay,
got to
that's-
answer that
I
question
like that.
with why it's important to you to work at that particular place.
Yeah.
And if you can answer that question well and say how it connects to your passion
Yeah.
and what you're trying to accomplish in your life,
Yeah.
then you're good.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're good.
I never was questioned like for a job interviewed.
You
I
never
was given-
interviewed?
Yeah, no.
Yeah?
Whatever job I got, whatever, you know.
I've been on a
And
lot
I
of
would be
job
nervous. I don't know
interviews.
if I would be nervous if somebody how I would pass.
I've
Because
been
I
a
talk too much and
lot
I
of
talk
job
myself
interviews.
out of a job maybe.
Yeah.
Is that can happen
You can
too?
talk too much, you can. You got to listen just as much
Give me
as you
some
talk.
techniques as far as your interview.
All right, so what if you're at a job interview
Keep your fingernails clean.
and somebody says, what's your greatest weakness? It's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about a weakness, won't that make them not want to hire you? How do you answer that
Yeah.
question? What you do is you talk about something that has been a challenge for you, but that you are working to overcome it. So for me, I would say one of my greatest weaknesses has been that I was nervous when it was time to meet people in a large group. Like a large group of people, I'd be nervous. But what I've done to overcome it is I've practiced and practiced and
Yeah,
practiced.
yeah.
And now that I've practiced for a long time, I'm much better at it, much more comfortable. So you say your weakness, but then you say what you've done to get better.
Yeah.
That's what you do in an interview when they ask, what's your greatest weakness?
Yeah.
Now,
What are some of the tricky questions that they ask you in an interview?
Oh my goodness, I hate the one where they say, tell me about yourself. They just start with an open-ended question, tell me about yourself, and then you feel like you're talking for half an hour. Like you
Yeah.
feel like you can't stop because you don't know what to say to that puts it in a concise and compact way, you know? So what I tell people, my clients that I work with, is you start with a sentence or two about who you are, but then you move straight to what you can do for that company or that organization. So I might say, I'm a career coach and I help people find jobs that they love, but then the next thing I'm off to the races with what I can do to help them.
Right.
And what I can offer you is, and that's what you go straight into. So that keeps you from talking too much about your dog and your buddies and where you grew up and what your favorite football team is.
Now-
It gets you straight to what they want to know.
Well, one other thing, I got to be careful. You leave your job,
Yeah.
and then they ask you, why did you leave the job? What was, you know?
That's a
and
tough
now,
one.
Now, if you're going to start knocking that outfit,
Right.
I don't
you
know.
do not talk bad about your previous job
Yeah.
or your previous boss.
Well, what kind of answer you give them?
I usually
And especially
say,
if you left with a bad
Right.
feeling or taste of the outfit.
I usually tell my clients to say, I needed room to grow. I needed
yeah.
room to spread my wings.
Yeah,
I needed room to do more and give more
Yeah,
to the
yes,
company. And that way, the company you're interviewing for knows that the reason you left wasn't that you didn't want to work hard or that you didn't want to do well. The reason was you wanted to actually do more, but there wasn't room for you there to do that.
All right, here's a question from the audience. The lady up there with that green dress.
Excellent.
Here's your green. Now, you read the question. Read
All
the
right.
question out loud.
How much research should I do on a company before I go to an interview? That's a good question.
Right, okay.
That's a good question.
All right, what is it? What's the answer?
The easy answer is as much as you can, as much as you can, as much research as you can. The things you want to look for when you're researching is you want to look for what is a problem the company has that you can solve.
What?
What's a problem that company has that you think you can help solve?
Oh, okay.
So what if you're interviewing at a place that sells sneakers? Let's pretend you're interviewing at a place that sells fancy sneakers, like the real expensive kind. Well, the problem might be that they might not be able to find people who know the difference between all the different kinds of sneakers that there are and why some of them would cost more and some would cost less.
Yeah.
Well, you can go into your interview and you can say, I have looked at all the LeBrons, I have looked at all the Jordans, I have looked at every kind of sneaker there is, and I can talk to customers about which sneaker is best.
Oh, all right.
You're going to solve their problem.
I got another one here from this gentleman up there with that hat. Take your hat off. You're inside. All right? Here, read this out loud.
All right. How honest should I be on my resume? That's another good question.
What is it now?
How honest should I be on my resume?
Uh-oh. Wow.
Oh, how honest should I be
we're
on
starting
my
to hit.
resume?
Go ahead.
You should be 100% honest about the facts, where you worked and when,
And if
because they
want-
can check.
And if you had a problem, discuss the problem.
Now, the place where you can get a little creative is when you describe what you did and how you did it. Then you can talk about leadership, even if you weren't a boss.
You got to be class.
You got to talk about your strengths.
Right.
But
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't want to tell anything that can be checked that is not true. Does that make sense? You don't want to say, I worked here from this date to this date, and then they call the place and they said, no, Hank didn't work there from 1991 to 93.
Yeah.
You got to be real honest about the stuff that's factual.
Yeah.
But you can get a little creative with, I showed leadership skills, or I showed good communication skills, or your shoe shine place, I was a customer service specialist.
Yeah. Oh, how about that?
I was a
All
customer
right.
service
Now let's
specialist.
talk about, you're going to walk into the room and
Yep.
the interviewers are there.
Yep.
From the time you open that door,
Yes.
how should I present myself?
That's a good question. I'd like to say you should be confident. You should stand tall. You should have a good handshake to every person in the room. You want to shake everybody's
right,
hand in the room
right,
if there's
right.
more than one.
Good,
and
yes.
good eye contact. I also do want to say that some people are naturally, by their nature, a little shy, or
Yeah.
maybe by their nature they're a little quiet.
A good interviewer will detect that.
And you should be willing to say that to your interviewer. One of my clients, I said, tell them I'm nervous because I'm so excited about this job interview and I really want to work with you guys.
Right. Well, that's, in
So
other
you
words.
say you're
yeah,
nervous,
yeah.
you admit you're nervous, but you say it's because you want to work there, right?
Yeah.
And then the interviewer thinks, well, they might be a little nervous, but that's okay. It's just because they're real excited about working with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, in other words, you're trying to say that you want to become aboard to be a help.
Right.
Right.
You want to help.
Oh, I got this guy in the front row here. He's always in the front row. How do you get the front row seat? Here, I'll read that out loud.
All right. What can I learn about a company during the interview? That's a good question. You can learn a lot
What can I learn
about a company
during
the interview. You can learn a lot, not just about the job you're doing.
But you mentioned you want to investigate, I'll use the word investigate.
Yeah.
Before.
Beforehand. You want to research beforehand.
As much as possible.
As much as possible. But when you're actually there, you know what you can ask? What's it like to work here if you're young? Or
Yeah.
what's it like to work here if you're driven and energetic?
Yeah.
You want to find out what it would be like to work here for you. And you can also say, what are the things that have made people successful here?
Yeah.
What has made a person who works here
Right.
be a success? And
Yeah.
that's a good thing to learn. And some companies, they'll say, well, it's that they put in a lot of extra hours. Well, then you know that you're going to
Well-
have to put in a lot of extra hours.
Well, you know what? I come to the decision, this is discussion,
Yes.
that we should start right now, today, before we even think about a job, is start presenting yourself
Yes.
every day.
Every
So you
day.
don't have to wait to do this here just for the interview. You
That's
do
right.
this in life.
Every day.
You enjoy,
That's right.
hello. I remember this one guy, he used to talk, he says, walking along, he says, hello. And the man says, we say hello to me, I don't know you. Oh, he says, my name is John Jones, whatever it was,
Yeah.
So the next day, he says hello to the guy, because I don't know you. He says, what do you mean, I met you yesterday, So,
Yeah.
I have, because I've had this TV show and all, a lot of people look at me and say, and as soon as I smile, I say hello,
smile?
Because, and then we start a conversation, say, oh, I see you on TV or
It's a
something like that.
conversation, that's
so
right.
I'm like a little celebrity in a small town.
Yeah,
See?
yeah.
But I like that, I like that because I feel good that somebody, and we talk in conversation. When I was a safety officer, they look, oh, Sergeant Cisco, I remember you used to come to school and you used to sing Never Cross
Yeah.
When the Light is
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah.
So all these memories,
Yeah.
So I take them all and I enjoy it every day.
That's
every
awesome.
day.
Well, what
And
if somebody wanted to learn
and
more?
I watch. Okay.
What if somebody wants to learn more about all this stuff? Where would they
Right.
go? They would go to my workshops
Okay.
that I'm having in the Norristown Library
Go ahead.
on Tuesday evenings in November.
Okay, I got 30 seconds. Wrap up. What else you want to tell them?
Tuesday evenings in the library at 6 p.m. every Tuesday in November.
Yeah.
We're going to have workshops about job search and career development. And if people want to learn more, they can go to my website. And my website is just lynncareercoach.com.
Okay. Okay, Coach.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for allowing us to come for a half-hour show. I could keep on here for another half hour, but, John Doyle, give me the get off the air.
Wrap it up.
See? So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And for you students, look out. Don't get in any trouble.
Yep.
Get a good education. And the world's out there waiting for you. All right? So may God bless each and every one, and may keep bobbing and weaving, left hand high, stick and move, and keep your tongues off the canvas. And for my Hispanic friends, adios, amigos. All right, here's to your huff.
To you,
In Italian,
salute.
say, arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
And here's a nice little gift for you. All right.
thank you.
Compliments of Bridgeport Trophy.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
This
you.
was so fun.
I enjoyed it. Now I'll take my cough drop.